Okay, cool. Everybody can see my screen. Um, so first of all, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Wayne, and I'm a Google Certified Trainer and Google Certified Educator. So, which is why I'm here today to guide you guys on the topic of online learning with Google Classroom and Google Hangouts Meet. So, by the way, Google Hangouts Meet recently has been renamed to just Google Meet. So. That has actually given a sign that um, very soon Google Hangouts gonna be eliminated. So basically, uh, we just gonna use Google Meet in the future because in the past that there's been a lot of people got confused with between Google Hangouts and Google Hangouts and also Google Hangouts Meet. So which is why recently Google has actually uh, removed the word as Hangout, so they actually changed it to Google Meet. So do not be surprised if you say like just Google Meet in the future. So before we start, there are a few things that I would like to let you know. So recently, Google has due to the COVID situation, due to like the MCO, due to the quarantine in many countries across the globe, um, Google has actually enabled or Google has allowed the access of the premium feature for everybody, especially the G Suite for education and Google G Suite for enterprise education domain to actually access to a lot of premium paid feature for free. Okay, such as recording feature. Uh, yeah, so and which I'll be showing you guys how to use recording feature to record your online learning class as well, so that you can actually save it as like your classroom material and share with your student for revision or for any purposes like let's say if you have students actually miss out a class, you don't have to worry much because you just have to attach your recorded online session back to your Google Classroom, and they'll be able to watch it over and over again by accessing to the classroom material. Okay, so first of all, we're gonna start our session with Google Classroom. So instead of asking you guys like how many of you have actually used Classroom before, I would like to know, okay, how many of you have not used Google Classroom before? Okay, so while I'm waiting for answers, so I will actually open up my Google Classroom. So by opening up Google Classroom, so what you can do is that if you're in your email, if you're in your inbox, you can actually go to the top right where there's like the nine dots. Okay, you can just click on it because that's where you can access to all the Google apps. All right, so when you click on it, when you scroll down, you'll be able to find Classroom over there. So that'll be the first way for you to access to your classroom. Okay, second way, which is the easiest way and also my preferred way, is that basically what I normally do is that I would type classroom.google.com in my browser. So I'll just hit enter and I'll be directed straight into my Google Classroom. All right, so yeah, so once you're in your Google Classroom, so this is basically what you see. And I noticed none of you here never seen Classroom before. Okay, so which means every one of you here, you have experience with Google Classroom, which is really good because I don't have to worry that some of you might not be able to catch up. Okay, that's a very good news. So once you log into your classroom, you get to see all the classroom that you have set up previously, or you might want to set up a new classroom by hitting the plus button on the top right. Okay, so once you hit, you can actually click create class to create your own class. Okay, but for today, we're not going to create any class, but we're just going into like one of my current class, and I'm gonna explain a little bit to you about certain features and some of the recent update. Okay, so first of all, I'm pretty sure like most of you have already aware of this, which is the Google Meet link that is available in your Google Classroom. Okay, as you might have actually noticed on my screen, there is a Meet link on the top of my stream, okay, under my class name. So how do you guys actually turn this on? Okay, so for those of you who are not sure how to do this, I will actually show you now. So first of all, in order for you to turn on the Meet link to allow your student to join into your so-called virtual classroom or Google Classroom, okay, is that you can go to the settings button, okay, on the top right. So you can see there's a little gear button over here, okay, on the top right. Let me zoom in and let you see. So on the top right, get to see like a gear button, and which is like next to your Google Apps button. So you just have to click on your uh, settings, okay, so, and then you'll be directed into your class settings. So on the top part, you'll be able to see class details. And then it will be followed by general. So under general, you will actually see an extra feature called Meet. Okay, so by default, it would not be visible to your student, and this link will be off. So you just have to turn it on, and turn it on, you will actually get like an auto generated link. So what you can do is that the next thing you have to do is to make it visible for your students so that everybody can actually see in the classroom and they can join into your so-called virtual class. Okay, so I've got the link and I've actually switched it on. So I just have to hit save. All right, so once I hit save, it will be actually directing me back into my classroom. So, which is why now you can actually see the Meet link on the top of your screen. All right. So, is everybody clear with this step? Yes. Okay. Clear. All right. Cool. Um, so, and I'd like to explain like a few things to you is that recently I noticed that, and also I've actually received a lot of uh, comments, okay, from teachers who have been actually using this Google Classroom Meet link, that some of the issues that they have encountered, which I believe maybe some of you here, you might have actually encountered before. So which is like, okay, if you set up the link here and your student, any of your student actually join into your link before you, so they will be actually automatically become the host of your Google Meet session. Okay, that's really kind of like it could be an issue. For example, um, I've heard some of teachers they actually record the session, and but all the recorded session is being saved into so-called the host Google Drive. Okay, which like the first person who actually joined into the link was the student, and the recorded session actually being saved into the student's Google Drive, which could actually cause a problem because teacher wouldn't be able to access to the video, and and student actually has it, so it causes like hassle. Okay, but of course we like you might be actually asking why does this happen. So because okay, let me explain to you why. Because this is first of all, this is like a new feature. um, for sure we do expect some bugs, okay, because it's not perfect yet, so it's being released because um, of this entire like the MCO and also the global quarantine period. So basically, Google is trying to do something. It's putting in some effort to actually help educators, help students on remote and online learning. So that's why it has like this feature being released immediately for everybody to use. Okay, but of course, like it's improving. Okay, because it's Google and it's constantly improving. So not to worry. So this will be eventually solved. But okay, today I'm gonna show you another way, okay, which is my own preferred way, and it's a much better way for you to set up like a virtual classroom without having to worry about your student actually becoming the host of your session. All right, so first of all, I'll need you guys to actually turn on or open up your Google Calendar. Okay, so how do you open up Google Calendar? So very simple, same thing, go to your Google Apps night dot button and go and look for a calendar. Or if you cannot find the calendar or the apps button, so just simply type in calendars.google.com. So you'll be able to access your calendar. Okay, that's the easiest way. So once you're in your calendar, so this will be pretty much you can see. So basically, it's just nothing special. You know, a lot of people say nothing special. It's just like digital calendar. Um, yeah, and some of you might not be actually seeing this view. Okay, don't worry. You'll be seeing like most likely, I'm guessing most of you or some of you, you'll be seeing something like this, right? So you'll be seeing like it's just a day view. So what you can do is that on your top right, there is a button, a drop down. So you just have to click it. Okay, you get to select a different types of view. So normally I would prefer to have month view so that I can have like overview of my entire calendar of April, for example. You can see, okay, I have a lot of webinars going on and things, okay? So, so for today, we are not going to um, we're not going to actually talk about like a lot of things about calendar, but instead we're gonna talk about how do you set up uh, a better virtual class in Google Calendar. Okay, so oops, I think somebody actually took over my presentation. Can you guys still see my screen? Okay, cool. Okay, somebody, because I noticed somebody actually took over my screen. So, oops. Okay, just guys, for information, do not press present screen, okay? Because if you press present screen, other people will be able to see your screen and the session will be interrupted. So, yep, so, okay, do not click on present screen. And so let's see. So we talk about setting up like a virtual class in your Google Calendar. So first of all right, I've actually switched it to monthly view. And now I would like to look for a date to set up my class, my virtual class, my online learning class, okay? Whatever you call it, okay? So as you can see, today is 25th, and I'd like to set up a date, a class on Monday, okay, which is the 27th next week. So what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna click on it. So it's just like how you normally set up an appointment, okay? An appointment here. So, oh, a lot of people say they cannot see my screen. Let me check, okay? I'm sorry about that. Uh, Better? Yep. Okay. So cool. Okay, guys. There's something I would like to show it to you. Just a very quick tip. Okay. Let me just open this up. Okay. Okay, this is like it's not part of the calendar yet. Okay, I'm just going to show you like a quick tip. How can you actually constantly see my screen without interruption? Okay, so just gonna rejoin to my session as another user. So, all right. So in order for you to be able to see my screen, so what you can do is that you need to actually hover over on the right hand side, you hover over to my screen and you can see there is a little pin to screen button. Okay, you just have to click that pin to screen button, and you'll be able to actually uh, see my screen constantly without any interruption. All right. So I'm gonna just represent. Okay, so everybody can see my screen, and we're gonna go back to calendar. All right, so once you are back in calendar, we were talking about like selecting a date for you to set up a virtual class. Okay, so what you can do here is that, for example, on the 27th, I would like to set up a class for my student. Okay, I'm just gonna select a date, and then the next thing that I'm gonna do is that, okay, I'll teach you guys a way to remember it, the steps. So it's simple, 3 steps. Okay, first step, you set a name for a virtual class. For example, I'm gonna put it as English. Okay, English virtual class. And the second step is that you need to add a time. All right, so or else, your virtual class is going to happen like from day to night. It's gonna be a full day. So which I believe you do not want that to happen. And also I believe you want your student to actually aware of like what time is it. So remember to set a time. So by setting a time, so what you can do is that you click add time, and then you insert time. So for example, I would like my virtual class to be running at 3 on Monday. Okay, by default, um, Google Calendar will actually automatically set your time to an hour, or set your session to an hour. Okay, but you have your freedom to actually set it, like shorten it, or you want to make it like longer, to 2 hours. Is up to you. Okay, let's make it as 2 hour for this session. Okay, so we have done the second step. Okay, first step, set the name. Second step, set the time. Third step, which is the one of the most important step, which is to set up your conferencing call link. Okay, so just have to click on that. Okay, add Google Hangouts conferencing call, and you will see a link over here. So, and that's it. Okay, it's done. All right, so you do not have to do anything else, and you just have to hit the save button. All right, three steps, and then save button. So the next thing you can see is basically on your calendar on the 27, oops, on 27, which I've actually selected. Okay, 3 p.m. there is a virtual class. All right, so right now I will actually click on it, and on the right hand side of my Google Meet link, okay, there is a copy button. Okay, I'll need you guys to click on that. So click on copy. So just have to click on copy, and that's it. Okay, and then now the next thing is you go back to your classroom. So you go back to your classroom, and what you can do, or what I would recommend you to do, is that you can actually paste it in your classroom, and then like you can actually tag along with some of the announcement, and perhaps some of the videos, some of the attachment you would like your student to access to before they start joining into your class. So for example, okay, I'm gonna put it as an announcement for my student. So I'm just gonna type a very quick message here. So I've typed my message over there, and of course, like for those who are actually familiar or who have actually used Google Classroom before, you know that you can actually add some material, okay, into your any of your posts, okay. So from your Google Drive, or you have a link to share, or like you have a file you like to upload from a computer, or you can even pull like a YouTube video. Okay, so it's very handy here. So, but in this case, I'm not going to share anything. if you want to share, feel free. Okay, so I pasted the link, and I've actually put in the message, and I can hit post. But before that, okay, I have something to show to you guys. So which is the schedule feature. So um, a lot of people, like sometimes I do understand, especially teachers, uh, we are always busy, right? So sometimes we have like free time today, but we might not be free tomorrow because we have a lot of work to do. So what you can do, and what can be handy here is that, okay, today I'm really free. I would like to pre-schedule all the announcement or even assignment to be posted for tomorrow, the day after tomorrow, or for next week. So I can actually schedule this post to be posted later on without having myself to access to my classroom and do it manually. So you can set a time, set a date for Google Classroom to actually post it out automatically within your classroom itself. Okay? So I'm just gonna hit post, okay? So I'm just gonna hit post now, and there you go. Okay, you get to see, and all my students, they get to see, like, there's a link over here, and there's a message over here. So I noticed there is a message here from Tay, okay, asking what's the usage of the Meet link that you mentioned earlier of the class compared to this one you're sharing now. Okay, so basically both of them, they are Google Meet link, okay, but uh, there is an issue actually raised up by a lot of educator by using the Meet link on the top here, is that if you use this one, you might actually encounter like the problem as like the first person who actually joined into the call will be the host of the session. So when this person become the host, all the recording and all the recorded session will be actually go into his or her Google Drive, which um, might not be actually might not make any sense for a teacher, right? So especially for those of you who would like to actually record your online session, you would like your session to be saved in your Google Drive instead of your student Google Drive. Because if it's being saved in your student's Google Drive, you would not be able to access to any of your video. So um, so I've actually discovered a way of using um, Google Calendar to set up the link to avoid this issue happen while waiting for Google to fix this issue. Okay, so and also another advantage that I could actually share with you by actually posting the link as your announcement here is that, so let's say before joining into the session, if your students have any questions, they can always leave a comment here to ask you. So it's kind of like, you get to see the benefits of using this. So it's like if you ask them to join a link here, they have nowhere to ask you if they have any questions. So if you actually post it here, so basically you allow them to interact with each other, or you allow them to actually interact with you as well by asking you questions. Okay, that can be really useful. All right, so far, any question? Let's see. So if you guys have any question, please feel free to just uh, ask in a chat session, okay? So that I know that what you're thinking about and what concern do you have. So do you guys need me to repeat the step? How to use back the same meeting code? Sorry, what do you mean by use back the same meeting code for uh, do you mean by do you want to actually join the same session again, use the same link to join into um, the class in a different day? So let me explain to you, my approach is that normally I would prefer, okay, to set different class, okay, with different link on for different days for my class, because simply because I would like my student, okay, to, instead of joining into the same link, oops, okay, sorry, meeting code for my 3A. Okay, and of course, so thanks for actually asking this question, Tay. So you'll like to use back the same meeting code. Of course, that's possible. Okay, so what you can do is that you can actually go to meet.google.com. Okay, this is actually another way for you to set up like a session. So what you can do is that you once you go into meet.google.com, that will be the homepage, considered as the homepage of Google Meet. So when you click on join or start a meeting, so you'll be able to see like enter a meeting code or nickname, okay, to start your own meeting. So what you can do is that you can set a name here, and then you share it with your student. So when you share it, when you share the code or the name with this student, they'll be able to access to this room at the same time. Okay, so that's another way for you to do it. But of course, you will not be able to track like when is your class going to happen, and especially when I believe like you guys will not be just um, teaching one class, right? You guys will be like teaching a lot of classes like within a day, so it might be hard for you to track. So which is why I would actually recommend you um, for you to set up your class in Google Calendar and copy the link and paste it in your Google Classroom, which would actually makes more sense for you in long run. So especially let's say if you want to track back like for the one whole week all your classes, you'll be able to see it. Is it possible to have control over Google Meet to so student would not accidentally click on present now over screen? Okay, so that's a very good question, and it's also a question that I've been getting over and over and over again regarding this. So regarding the upcoming features that I actually mentioned earlier at the beginning of my session, which is actually currently rolling out by Google. Uh, is that so there'll be upcoming new updates that is going to be available for you guys, which first one is like student would not be able to control anything in the classroom, but instead teacher, as for you, you'll be able to mute all student with just one button. Okay, and at the same time, um, student would not be able to click present now if you don't allow them to present. Um, and also, yeah, so student would not be able to mute you, okay, as a teacher because they would not have any control. But of course, like this is the new updates and it's being rolled out by Faces. So which means um, you guys should actually expect it like in the next a week or two, okay? Slowly by group will be able to access to this feature. We will start using it, but right now so far I haven't actually received this feature yet, so at least in my ID. So any one of you, if you actually notice any extra button in your Google Hangout, that means you have already received the new update. Okay, so And if you see a new button, don't be scared to actually try it out. So, or you can just feel free to just Google it. No harm. So, yep, that's the information for the updates for your question. Okay. Hi, this is very useful. Can you share some more important feature of the host would be able to present screen? Okay. And okay, how do you identify the current host can the host authority transferred to the others? So, okay, good questions, guys. So, how do you identify one person to be the host? So, basically, if you are the person who set up the call, that means you are the host. All right. So, and for the issue that I mentioned earlier, that actually raised up by other teachers, they did not actually know that they were like they were not the host until the recorded session was being saved to the students' Google Drive. Okay, so which this could be a problem for long term. So that's why at this moment of time, um, if you would like to use the Meet link within your Google Classroom, I think it's fine. You can do it. You can use it. If you are not using the uh, recording features, because I guess it would not actually affect you much, because nothing's gonna be affected if you're not using any like recording feature. But if you're using recording feature, I will actually recommend you to actually use the method that I just showed to you, which is using the Google Calendar, because you are the one who actually set up the link. Automatically, you will be the one uh, who is going to be the host of this whole session. Okay. About the meet duration, we said before meet. Okay. So okay, no. So for your question, for Tom, okay, for your question, that's not the duration like it's like it's not a hard limit. So which means basically that's just the duration that you set to let your if you have any guests who actually received this, to let them know that okay, this is like the estimated time duration that you're gonna have for this session, but it's not gonna be a hard limit. So which means even if it exceed like an hour, so you will still continue. Okay, so it's nothing to worry about. Okay, so I have actually answered all the question at the moment, so let's just continue with the rest of our session now. So we have already posted like a link over here. So right now it's time for us to see what's next, right? So assuming that your student have actually clicked on this link, or yourself, okay, you click on the link, you're gonna start your session now. All right, so we're gonna learn a little bit about the settings before we start to join into the Google Meet session. So I believe before joining this session, you already seen this before. On the left hand side, you can see yourself on the video, and at the bottom, you can see two button over there. So on the left one is actually the microphone, and the right one is actually the camera. So if you would not like anyone to see you, if you like to get yourself ready, okay, before you join into the call, so you can actually switch it off before you join into the call. Okay, so or sometimes like um, this is like just a tips for you. So sometimes, like for example, you are going to join into a Google Meet webinar like today, okay, and you do not want to interrupt the session. You want to kind of like join quietly. So this is what you can do. You can just turn off your microphone. So it will help the session a lot. So when you join in, people would not be able to hear the noise around you. Okay. So and also it's also a good thing for you to actually let your student know. Probably you can actually create kind of like a screenshot and share it with your student in Google Classroom, like before you join into our virtual class. So this is what you should do. You should make sure your button is being changed or is being clicked, okay, and turned into red color, so that you wouldn't interrupt the class. All right. So um, aside of that, there's also another settings that we need to look at, which is the audio, your speaker, your microphone, and also your camera settings. So you can actually click on the settings. All right. So on the microphone is basically if you have like external microphone plug into your computer, or you're using like a Bluetooth microphone, you will be able to see like multiple microphone options here. But by default, you'll be able to see internal microphone, which is the built-in microphone in your laptop or in your computer. Okay, so and then you have speaker. If again the same thing, if you have more speakers connected to your device, you will see multiple options. But do aware of this is that if you select an external speaker, sometimes you're gonna hear some echo. So the best way is that before you join into the class, okay, you can actually test it here. Okay, when you click on the test, you'll be able to hear like the beep sound. All right. Um, and then we have video. So video, here is some great tips to share with you guys. So for information, you can actually adjust your resolution. So some of you might be wondering what is just like resolution. So resolution is basically it determines whether you're gonna have like a clear like full HD video, high definition video, or you're gonna have like slightly blurry video, but at least you can still see the other person. So if you want to use like HD video, you can select HD, okay, high definition. Which is gonna use up quite a lot of your data if you're on your phone, okay, or it's gonna use up quite a lot of bandwidth if you're on Wi-Fi or whatever, okay, or your any internet connection. So I would recommend you to switch to a standard definition, which is not gonna be like full HD, but okay, at least your student can still be able to see you, but you are not burning your data, you are not using up a lot of bandwidth, especially when you have a slow internet connection. Okay, so at the same time, there is another one called receive resolution. So what is a receive resolution? Basically, receive resolution is something that you see from other people. So for example, the video that you are receiving for your students. So in this case, if you think it's not necessary for you to see a student in your class, you can actually turn it to audio only, so it wouldn't burn your bandwidth. So it allows more bandwidth for your own video for you to show your screen to your student. Okay, um, or if you want to see them, but you do not want it to be HD, so uh, you can just switch it to standard. Okay, Aaron, yeah, you're right. Low resolution ensures smooth streaming. Okay, that's really right. So of course you can actually select a camera if you have an external camera connected to your laptop. All right, so once it's done, you can hit done button. All right, so before joining, okay, I have a little bit of more extra information to share with you. Um, you get to see two buttons here. So one is present, another one is join now. So if you hit on present, basically your screen, it's gonna be taking over the entire session when you join it. Okay, so it's just like a few of the people earlier they joined in. I guess they actually hit on the present button that they were actually presenting their phone screen or their computer screen to our screen. So, which I would not recommend you to do that. Okay, unless you are the you know like you think that you would not be interrupting a session and you want everybody to see your screen immediately when when you join. So normally I'll recommend people to hit join now. All right. And I would say while you're sharing the screenshot with your student to tell them to mute the microphone, you can also mention about this. Just tell them to hit join now so that, they wouldn't be presenting the screen. So once we hit on join now, here are a few things that I would actually show it to you. So first of all is actually present now. So here is where you can actually present your screen. By hitting on present now, you can choose to present your entire screen or just a single window if you do not want the people to see other things on your screen. Okay, it would just be just one window that you're gonna select. Okay, so um, and now I'm gonna show you guys something that I've been receiving a lot of requests from the teachers, from the educators. So which is Jamboard. Okay, how many of you here have not heard of Jamboard? So let's see. So I guess most of you here, you have actually heard of Jamboard because nobody's responding. Okay, heard of it, never tried though. Okay, yep, used it before. Okay, cool. So it's good to hear that some of you have not actually tried before because that's what that's what that I want to show it to you, and I think it's gonna be useful for you. So first of all, how can you access the Jamboard? Same thing, go to your Google Apps button, and when you scroll down, you should be able to see there is one thing called Jamboard. All right, so you just have to hit on Jamboard and then you will be able to see something like this. So basically, let me explain to you what Jamboard is. So Jamboard is basically like a virtual whiteboard that you can actually use it on the internet or in your browser or virtually. Okay, it's gonna be very useful for your virtual class because you can actually paste image on it and you can actually do some drawing if you think that you feel more comfortable to be able to draw something, to be able to write something on like a board. Okay, so and it's gonna be even like extra useful for you if you're actually using tablet to teach. Okay, so how can you start using a Jamboard? So basically, you just have to hit the new Jam button on the on the bottom right. So once you hit on it, you will be directed to a new Jamboard. So, okay, new Jamboard, you'll be shown as this, like, as you can see, it's a whiteboard. Okay, of course, you can name your Jamboard as like virtual class. Okay, I'll set the date. It just for a note, okay, for myself. And on the left hand side, you'll be able to see like tools, okay, like a toolbox over here. So, okay, oops, I think somebody took over my screen again. All right. Okay, so get back to our screen. And yeah, on the left hand side, you should be able to see like the toolbox, okay? So you get to see like your pen, which are the like the tools that you're gonna use for writing. You have pen, marker, highlighter, brush, and some colors that you get to choose. Very basic, okay? Um, and it's not gonna be like super like it's not like super comprehensive with a lot of tools like Photoshop or whatever, but it's sufficient for you to actually use it for your virtual class. Okay, and then of course you have eraser and select. Okay, sticky note. Okay, I like this one, and add image and laser. So today we're gonna talk a little bit about adding image. So I know that a lot of you still feel more comfortable to be able to show like some of your scanned image from your exercise book or from the textbook, from any of the books. So, or sometimes you might be actually having um, you might be actually having like some of the oops, somebody actually took over my screen again. Okay. Um, Yeah, sometimes you'll be actually having some e-content, so-called like electronic content for you to actually be shared with your student. So this could be really useful. For example, okay, I'm not going to upload anything, but I'm going to show you a very useful way for you to be able to actually do your work, um, in a very efficient way. So you can do direct Google search here. So for example, I'm going to search like English tutorial. Okay, year three. Right. Okay, I'm gonna see a lot of English tutorial from Google. So let's say I'm gonna choose this one to paste it on my whiteboard, basically. Okay, it's just like now what I'm doing now. So assuming that you guys are my student, okay, and I'm your teacher today, so you can actually do it as what I'm doing here. So I can select like the e-content, okay, and I paste it here on my whiteboard. So I'm gonna adjust it. Maybe I'll zoom it to 100. All right. So, okay. So you guys should be able to see it clear, right? So that's basically activity sheet that you can use to explain. So you can teach on the Jamboard. It's just like you teach in on a whiteboard. So as you can see, this is really cool. Okay, I really love it. And apart from that, it's like it's free. It's entirely free. Okay, for you to use it. So um, I'm gonna select basically pen. Okay, I'm writing something here. So maybe I can circle it. Okay, and I'd like to leave a note for a student to make sure that they are actually aware of what is this. So read instruction, save. Okay, done. And I can actually paste the sticky note over here, and you can add a lot more sticky note on the site. Okay. um yeah, and then of course I'm pretty sure like you guys might be actually thinking that, hey, can I save my whiteboard, can I save my Jamboard, and then I keep it as revision and send it over to my student? Of course you can. Okay, so what you can do is that you go to the top right here. When you click on it, you get to see download as PDF or save frame as image. So there are two options. You can whether save it as PDF or save it as image, and then either way is fine. Okay, so once you save it, you can actually upload it to your classwork. Okay, upload it here, create a material, um, so that your student can actually go back and look at it and for revision or for anything, for any purposes. So you can keep it as a classwork material. Okay, so that's for Jamboard. And any question? So are students able to draw or write directly under that the teacher sharing? Okay, from Yap. That's a very good question. The question is yes and no. Okay, so like what I'm doing right now, you guys are not able to draw or write anything on my screen, right? Okay, because I have not actually shared the access to you. Okay, so in our earlier session today, this morning with another session, um, people actually ask, so what if student actually draw things on my Jamboard while I'm actually teaching? So that's why I would actually recommend you to kind of like present your screen instead of share your entire Jamboard to your student. Because if you share it, student will be able to um, draw anything on your screen, and they will actually make fun of it. So instead of doing that, you want to have the full control. So you present your screen, and you draw anything you want, you do anything you want. If you have a tablet, it's even easier, and then you just save it as like image or PDF and share it with them in your Google Classroom. Okay, that's gonna be easier for you. But if you like your student to draw something, like you would like them to have some collaboration on your Jamboard, so you can actually hit the share button. It's just like when you're sharing the document, when you're sharing some other stuff in your Google Drive. All right. Can I share my PowerPoint screen in Jamboard, or I need to print screen my PowerPoint? Um, yeah, you need to actually make it as an image. All right. So you need to make it as an image and upload it here. Okay. So, okay. Another thing we're going to talk about, which is one of the most important thing that we have been talking about, which is to recording your session. So, um, how to do it? So, what you can do is that once you're in your Google Meet session, you just have to go to the bottom right, and you'll be able to see, when you click on it, you'll be able to see record meeting. Okay, when you hit on the record meeting, so this entire session will be automatically saved into your Google Drive, call into a folder called Meet Recording. So all the session will be saved there. Okay, so normally what I love to do is that I would actually after I've ran my virtual class, I would actually go to my classwork in my Google Classroom and click on create and go to material. Okay, and I would actually pull my video straight away from my Google Drive. So, and I would actually select the video. Okay, I'll set a name for it so that student knows what is this about. Okay, student know like what is this content for, what is this material for. So you can actually add description if you want. Of course, it's optional. So I've set a name, I've actually put in a video, and I can assign it to multiple classes as well. So if you'd like to share it to multiple classes, and you can select a topic to attach with it so that it's easier for you to find and also for the student to find as well. Okay, and then you can hit post. So the reason why I'm posting it as a material is because so first of all, if any student they actually missed out of the session, or if sometimes there will be student um, like they are being cut off halfway throughout the session, so they can always go back to this video and revise, okay, and actually rewatch whatever that you explain. They can watch it over and over again under the material. Okay, all they have to do is just to click and play the video over here. Okay, so um, that's the recording part. And let's see. So another thing I would like to let you guys know is that some of you here, you might not be seeing the record meeting button. Okay, this is because you need to actually talk to your IT department to make them um, enable this feature for you. And for your information, like this feature is actually a premium paid feature, but right now Google actually release it for everybody to use um, due to this COVID-19, to ensure that educators and students can actually perform remote learning even better and easier. So, which is why the premium paid feature is being released out for the public to use for free until the 1st of September. All right. So after that, the school will most probably will have to pay for it. All right. Um, may I know student who use handphone need to download Meet first? Definitely, yes. So for student who actually use phone to access to your session, which I believe most of the student they will most likely will be actually on their tablet or on their phone, they will have to download an app called Google Meet. Okay, uh, yeah, to be able to actually access to your session. Okay. And of course, it's the same for Google Classroom as well. If they have the Google Classroom app, it will be much easier for them to actually look at the updates that you have, like the announcement, the assignments that you have in Google Classroom. Is just like how they look at Facebook or Instagram. So it's another app, and they can just access to it. So the next thing, oh, it's 12:12 already. So just need to be quick. So one last thing I would like to show to you guys before we end our session today is that I'm gonna share with you some, I would say, very useful extension that I believe some of you might have already seen this, or might be already using this. But for those of you who have never actually used it before, um, and wondering if you can actually have such a feature, I have some third-party extensions which I've actually used it before personally, that I'm actually going to recommend to you guys. So the first one is actually Meet Attendance. So basically, a lot of teachers, they would like to collect the attendance from the students in the session. Okay, so you can actually go to your Chrome web store. So by going this, you'll be able to search for an extension called Meet Attendance. So here, you once you install it, and you will be actually seeing a few tools like this at the top right of your Hangout Meets session, which allow you to collect the attendance of your student. Okay, so for but of course, like this only works when you are actually running your session on your laptop. Okay, it doesn't work when you are actually running your session um, on tablet or phone. Okay, so you have to be aware of this. So that's the Meet Attendance. You can actually search it in Chrome Web Store. So by going to so how do you go to Chrome Web Store? Basically, just have to Google Chrome Web Store, and you click on a link. You'll be able to start searching for the extension to be actually installed into your browser. Okay, for those of you who actually need the link, don't worry. We will share this link out to you guys after this. Okay, and and of course, like we'll be sharing the videos of our webinar session with you guys as well. Okay, not to rate. It's well noted. And the second extension, I think it's rather useful, is that we call it as not. Okay, the not reaction for Google Meet. So this is a session which allows students to actually raise their hand, okay, in the session. So, or they can have like some emoji. Okay, because sometimes, like, after you muted everybody, you want to make sure that they're still there. You want to make sure that they have some interaction with you, because that's the whole purpose of having online learning. So we want it to be interactive, so uh, they can actually have this, like, this extension. Okay, but of course, this extension has to be installed in both of the teacher and student's device. Okay, and computer or laptop only. So because this is like for browser only, so, and at this point of time, like as a teacher, you might be thinking that, oh my God, I need to get my student to install this. So that will be another drama. So I would say you can actually talk to your IT guy, to your IT department, IT teacher, or IT expert in the school to tell them about this extension, to get them to push it down to everybody within your school. So everybody will be receiving this extension. So when they turn on Google Meet, okay, they'll be able to use it. So it's easy. So, IT department will be able to do this. Okay, how if my IT teacher did not know how to push down not? Okay, that's a very good question. So, um, so I believe if they are able to work in the IT department, they should be able to know how to do this because, to be honest, this is like just a one step thing. So it's like one button. They just because the IT person they have the admin access to the admin panel, so they just have to go in and click on Meet and push down the extension. That's it. So all you have to do is to give them the name because if they do not have the name, they would not know which app to push down. Okay. Oh, he did not know. Okay. Um, maybe we can try to actually talk to him. Yeah. Okay. So, and the next one is actually Google Meet Grid View. So, for those of you who actually um, used Zoom before, I'm sure you'll love this feature, which allow you to see everybody in a great view. So, and we all know that Google Meet doesn't have this. So there is an extension that allow you to use this. And personally, I really love this because once you install this extension, you'll be able to see everybody with a glance on the screen. Okay, this is really cool. All right, so these are the three like really useful extensions that you can actually explore yourself. Um, yeah, so do you guys have any more questions? Are these extensions free? Yes. Yes, these extensions they are free, but there is no like as I said, these are all third party extensions. So there is no so-called um, like guarantee, they are actually best or they are um, they are actually like really good for you to use, but it's just like since everybody's been asking, so I've actually done some research and personally I've actually tested it out for you guys. I've actually used it, and personally I have shortlisted like this three that I think is really useful and is really good for you guys to use it. So yeah. So for Tay, about your IT teacher. So I'm just wondering if your IT teacher is here. Um, so because we could actually try to uh, oh, okay, he's not here, or else I could be actually showing the steps on how to actually do it to him, but that's all right. No problem. Okay. So is there any more question from you guys regarding the session today? So I hope you guys have actually learned something and that it could be useful for your online teaching because I know there's been like a really challenging period for everybody to work online, um, and also to teach online. So I do hope uh, yeah, I do hope you guys have actually learned something from this session. Okay. Okay. Stop. And also, like, let's say if you guys have anything would like to learn, like let's say uh you have some question about online teaching, online learning that you're not sure about, please do let us know. Do contact us, contact my team. That just tell us what would you like to learn so that we know more about you. Then we can actually try to arrange for some session that could possibly fulfill your needs. Okay, during this period of time. Okay, I noticed we have actually over time, like quite a lot of time, 12:21 already. So, uh, yeah, so let's see if you guys have any more question. Thank you. Thanks, guys. Thanks for your time as well. Um, Thank you. And yeah, and we thank you, Itrin, we thank you um, We really appreciate your time for joining into our session and giving us some insights, some of your opinions. We really love to hear from you about your feedback because we are planning to roll out more webinars as well. So, but of course, like it would be great to hear from you guys, like what do you actually need so that we can actually plan accordingly. Um, a lot of great things are going to happen in the future. So a lot of great technologies training, web training going to happen in the future like this. Um, and do let us know if you really like to learn about something, and we shall actually plan for you guys. And yeah, and everybody stay safe. Okay, stay safe and take care. And I guess that's it for now. Thank you very much, and goodbye, everybody. See you soon.